What is going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yakatees. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Look, y'all, I'm ready for the reunion. I'm ready for this to be over. Cause what are we doing here? I don't know. But anyway, we pick up where we left off where there's a whole lot of yelling and I don't give a F's um and then it's the whole show them who you are and all this other stuff. And then Karen says, I'ma sit down. You've been asking for it, now you have it. And Cherise says, asking for what? Your theatrics? What did I do that was disrespectful to your mother? Uh and she asked that, but she should have asked, when did I bring up your mother? But that's not what she asked. So Karen, questions her genuineness of Sharice showing up to the funeral and says that Sharice wasn't invited, but she showed up and went out of her way to put her head in the family's limo to show Karen that she was there. And her aunt has said, as long as Sharice doesn't bring this up on camera, then that means it's coming from a genuine place. And then Candace kind of inquires about that, and she says, well, at your 1 year anniversary, which was 3 years ago, that is when Sharice had brought it up. And Sharice says in her confessional, she went to the funeral because no one else from the friend group was going to be there. So then by your words, so you weren't going there because you were trying to support Karen. You weren't going there because you knew her mother and had some form of a relationship with her. So it does come off as being disingenuous. Nevertheless, Robin feels Karen lied, saying that she and Sharice were good. True, but I think it was also the whole, we good. The whole thing of there's no need for us to go backwards. Like we're here, we're cordial. Let's just keep it pushing. Karen says to Sharice, you have attacked people's families and tried to destroy them. Sharice is like, who? While banging on the table. And then Sharice says, Karen has had friends that don't deal with her, but you don't see me bringing up the details. Do you want to talk about, what they said about you going to rehab in Florida? I'm like, oh, wait, what? Wait, what are we doing? So then Karen says she can't go to Safeway now. I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody can clear that up for me. Sharice says, I'm breaking up families, but you were the one having relations with married men. I'm like, oh, so we just gonna put everything out there. But a lot of this was very vague with no specifics. And Robin says, maybe the shaman didn't work. And now she says sometimes it has to get gritty before there's healing. Giselle says no, but it did work. Look, they talked. Yeah, because you forced the conversation and there's cameras there. And production at some point wanted the conversation to happen. And Candace says to Jacqueline that she doesn't want to speak for her, but then turns to Mia and says, she was hurt. And Jacqueline says that she just met them, but Mia and her can have this conversation alone. I appreciate that from Jacqueline, where it's just, look, I just met y'all, and I'm okay with having a conversation. We keep having it on camera. I ain't gonna have it in front of you women. It's gonna be me and her. So then 30 minutes later, Jacqueline and Mia go to talk. The remaining girls minus Karen are at the bar dancing. Quotations. They played Drive Back and Candace then forgot some of her choreo, but hey, we just gonna blame it on Alk. So me and Jacqueline talk, and Jacqueline says that what was done and said is unacceptable. You're saying that I didn't have any friends, and to take it to this level of making accusations, I felt you were insinuating that it was with Gordon. How far are we going to take this? And you continue with lies. Mia said, what was a lie? And Jacqueline says, opening my legs to marry men. And Mia says she was trying to help her, just own it, and then gets up and walks away. And the whole trying to help her, so I don't, because are you trying, so are you providing her with a platform to talk about it? But the thing is, she's a friend of the show. She's not on the show. And okay, whatever. And Jacqueline says, so Gordon wasn't married when you got with him. Now, I appreciate the question, but it seemed like she was going for a zinger. But Mia cleared this up already and had already talked about it. So she says, he was, and I owned it. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, so it didn't really have the zing that you thought it was going to have. And Jacqueline says the relationship is over. And I'm trying to figure out, if the relationship is over, why are you still staying in the same suite with her? Because if a relationship is over and I ain't mess with somebody, though I understand, I'm here and I'm going to stay here, but if it was that deep, I just couldn't be in the same environment as the other person. So next day at the beach, Karen tells Candace, last night confirmed things for me. We have friends within this group, and we both have friends within this group, and I'm just going to be cordial. Mia, Jacqueline, Jiz, and Ashley doing some type of stimulating yoga. Nobody cares. They go to the cenotes, I believe. It's like some healing water private that's supposed to promote health, love, money, and something else. Okay, cool. So now it's lunchtime. Karen asks Candace, how is she and Ashley? Because of what happened, at her event and whatnot. And then is like kind of asking Ashley, and Ashley says she doesn't regret bringing her friend. Ashley felt, oh no, and she asked, does she regret bringing her friend? And Ashley felt that if there was a rumor out there, then Candace should hear it from the source. Candace says that Ashley's relationship is based off of pretty much what she's going through with Michael. There's toxic trait, and there's this, and you're to the point where you have to know if there's someone else or whatnot. And I don't have to do that because I know my husband and I trust my marriage and my husband. And she says, I wish your next relationship is different where you aren't always having to question fidelity. She doesn't have to worry about, obviously she doesn't have to worry about that with her man. Ashley apologized for bringing Deborah, and Candace feels that every time they get good, Ashley sabotages it, which you need to go move accordingly, knowing this information, Candace. Anyway, Ashley admits to harboring feelings against Candace for her being insensitive at crucial moments in her life, and we get the instance of Ashley talking about her miscarriage, and Candace is kind of being like, I didn't believe because I ain't seen no tears. And Wendy says when all three of them are together, they have a great time, and both of them are holding on to hurt. And they both agree to just leave the hurt where it's at, and they're going to take baby steps. But even though I'm here for it and all, like, I'm not here for it. I understand it. I'm not here for it because, again, Candace, how many times? So look, Candace, when it happens again, I ain't got nothing. So, okay, I don't care about that. So now we're at dinner. Robin doesn't know if she wants to have a traditional wedding, and then says since her family is going to Jamaica for her brother-in-law's wedding, they're going to get married the next day. Look, it's a good financial decision. That's all I'm gonna say. So Mia says, they're gonna have pretty much tells Robin we're having a bachelorette party. So Giselle says, what happened between Karen and Cherise last night didn't sit well with me. And she says she feels Cherise's character was completely assassinated. Clearly, if there is going to be a Queen of Potomac, that will be Cherise. Now I'm gonna stop here and say, so you did not like what was said, not what was said and done. But again, this type of behavior, you have crucified other women for this, talking about y'all have this standard and all this other stuff, but things clearly could have gotten physical last night. We ain't heard nothing about it. Mia threw a drink and hit Wendy with her purse. You defended that. I'm not going back to season 5, but I'm just saying, like, so season 5 happened, worst thing ever. You have violence in Miami, and now in Mexico, you have two women are about to sit here and possibly come to blows. And the only thing you say is, "How did we get here?" Anyway, Karen says to Giselle, because she is involved, stop. Enough is enough. This is dead. Giselle says, I can give my opinion. And Karen says, you know what? You can, but there's no more. We're good. That's it. And Giselle says she can't just kill the convo. And it's not that she's killing the convo. It's just like, I'm letting you know from where I stand. It's what's done is done. We're good. There's no more that I need to say. But again, and honestly, Karen should again. This is another one where Karen just didn't have to say nothing and just let Giselle talk. But again, Karen, you one of the ones where you gonna let Giselle continue to go through another season and not have a storyline. So I have no sympathy for you. So Robin says we're all held to the fire. What about you? Karen says I do. Robin says, but we're not. The behavior is different from the character Karen is portraying herself to be, and to take a sincere gesture during the time of grief and to flip it. And Karen says, "Don't touch my mother. My grief is my mother." And Cherie shares that she had lost three brothers before forming the friend group, then lost her mother, and now has lost her father and sister during COVID. She knows grief, and if someone comes to her during, her time of need, trying to, be there for them, she's not going to look at that as a negative. Okay, guess what? That's you. Not trying to be insensitive, but that's you. I get it. You feel me? um, and then says, "I've worked my ass off, to get this group together." And Karen says, "I wasn't on your list." Cherie says, "I didn't know you. You should thank God that my friends recommended you so you can have a seat at this table." Robin says that she feels that Karen is mad Sharice is considered the socialite of Potomac. Robin has to have, look, again, I get it. Robin just has to perk up and have a moment because she knows Giselle does not have the vocabulary. And to a certain extent, neither does Robin, because when Robin gets so flustered, she shut the F up and wants to sit here and, put her hands on somebody. Not to say that she's done it. And she says, "One day people will see you for who you are, a BSer." And then Karen apologizes to the group, but not Charisse. Candace is triggered because she brings up Mia doing the same thing to Wendy. And Mia says, "Because I'm not sorry to her now." I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty. If I'm not sorry for what I did, I'm not sorry. I appreciate the honesty. So Wendy says, "So you're not sorry for assaulting someone? Do you not know the definition?" Mia says, "Do you not know the definition of character assassin? I'm sorry, defamation of character?" Wendy, "Do you not recall the sequence of events?" Mia, "I asked you a question and then you share. I'm sorry, I asked you a question, then shared info someone gave me about you because I was trying to be a friend. And no, what happened is you were having a conversation with Peter, and then you come back to the table, and because Giselle Pete that you had this private conversation, Giselle then inquires about what that conversation was, and then that is when you decide to share it with Wendy. We're not rewriting history. No, we're not. And then Wendy says, "You don't know how to be a friend," because she was like, "How are you being a friend when you don't know how to be a friend to your friend of 30 years? You gave, I'm sorry, you've gone and told everyone that I've called your husband gay. I said y'all sleep with women and men. For all I know, you were the one sleeping with the men." But Wendy, there is that implication. And you knew what you were doing. You're very intelligent, Wendy, though you knew what you were doing. Come on, man. Let's not play games. Mia wants to know what is wrong with being gay and all this other stuff. And Mia, you know exactly what you're doing. Rather than wanting to address situation, you're trying to grab something and now use that as a talking point. You're not slick either. A whole lot of back. What? When is the reunion, people? So then she says, "Peter and G have been friends for years. You will see." Wendy says, "Y'all aren't friends because you slept with his girlfriend." Mia says, "That was before he came around." Wendy asks, "So after an argument, you think it's okay to throw a drink on someone?" Mia says, "I'm sorry for throwing a drink. Now what? Let's talk about the real issue." I'm like, ooh, there's a whole lot of aggression right here. And Wendy says, "The issue is the drink. I could have thrown the drink back at you, but I have a lot to lose. You've shown your character, a gutter ass bitch. I gave you a pass one time." And then they table the issue. So that's it. I mean, I could have, drug this out, but look, I just did 3 reviews for all of the reunion of Love, Marriage, Huntsville. I'm tired. I'm tired. So that's it. That's all I got. Make sure you check myself and the rest of the panel out on the Whether You Like It or Not panel on Sibley Sakina's channel tonight. And with that being said, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all later.